Hey, what's up, you guys? ShartimusPrime here, doing another Jada Toys action figure review on the Ultra Street Fighter 2 Dhalsim. Or is it Street Fighter 2 Ultra? I always get that confused. But anyway, this was my first favorite character from Street Fighter 2, and I am so happy to have this figure. This 6-inch line is amazing. So far, I've been loving every single figure that's come out of it. I mean, you can see we get a lot of accessories with Dhalsim over here, and I cannot wait to open it. I also love the packaging. You get the buttons and everything, you know, all stylized after the arcade. You can see the country of origin over here on this side. On this side, you can see some other Street Fighter characters. We have Cammy, Fei Long, and Ryu. And then, yeah, you also get Vega on that side. Window sliver on the top. On the back, you can see a nice looking product shot. There's a whole bunch of other Street Fighter 2 characters to choose from, and not much more at the bottom. So let's get to it and crack this thing open. And if you're trying to get your Jada Toys, you can do so.
Big. Get your big badass toys at BigBadToyStore.com. Click the link in the description below.
And here's Dhalsim out of the packaging, and what a cool figure. I am impressed by this figure by a lot of things. There's a lot of really cool stuff going on over here. However, I do have some frustrations with it. Frustrations that I didn't expect to see. I don't know if those frustrations ruin the figure, but we'll get into all of that soon enough. All right, so stay tuned for that. You've waited this long already. The figure's been out for a long time. Anyway, let's get a closer look at the accessories, and then we'll get a closer look at the figure. So I'm stoked about the amount of accessories, or just like the sheer amount of plastic is coming in here with these extra bendy legs and arms. Like, we've never gotten a Mr. Fantastic from Hasbro Legends with all this kind of extra stuff, and here is Jada doing it with not just that. We get interchangeable hands, and then we get this stand right here, which I don't really need to use so much. I did use it maybe a couple of times, but you could use that to help support some of those stretchy limbs over there. Now, while these accessories are awesome, and we get the two heads also, I do have my gripes about them. We'll get into that in just a second, but here's looking at a bendy leg, which not only functions really well, but it's just also very well sculpted, and I like how that we have the ball of the foot pointing forward for those kicks. You can see the dozies right over there, and this is very soft and rubbery, and they have the bendy wire holes, I think, towards the anklets on these and the wristlets, but you can see that you could bend this around quite a bit, like more than you really need to, and they didn't have to put the bendy wire in there because it still would have worked just fine, but I'm really happy that they did. It just makes it more fun, and it's easier to pose around. You could do silly, goofy things with this figure if you'd like to. They port in and out of the legs or the hips very easily. It's part of the leg, technically, but you can see how that goes on right there. Very easy to do, functions nicely. Now, the arms, these are awesome too. They also are sculpted very nicely. You can see the anatomy still running through here, even though it's not realistic at all. And you get the dope-ass bendy wire in here, which is really cool too. And you have the little bracelet here that you got to be careful with. Now, I am bummed out that you cannot remove these fists, and you can't swivel them either. So they're stationary right there. Getting an extra set of fists would have been great. You get these flat hands right here, which I wish could also clap together a little bit better. I wish they're sculpted in a way where you could really get them, you know, I don't know. When I pose this figure, I have a hard time getting his hands to like totally clap like that. Anyway, they have hinges that move up and down, and then you have your McGrabby hands right over here. So that's his fighting stance hands. But yeah, getting him to have fist hands in the regular arms would have been a really nice touch. I really would have liked to have had those. But yeah, these are still very cool too. Now, when you swap out these hands, also, you don't want to drop these rings. So he has these bracelet rings right here. Just want to be very mindful of those. Be careful where you're removing your hands so you don't drop them. But again, yeah, these bendies are really, really cool. They have a little hole kind of covered by paint towards the end of them. But other than that, you don't see the air holes that I'm used to seeing with a stretchy, bendy wire inside plastic figures. And I just had to demonstrate removing that and porting this on right here because it's the wrong side. Damn it, there's the correct side. And yeah, that works out nicely. So really happy with these, man. These are pretty freaking awesome. Just looking at one of the two head sculpts, and no, the eyes are not different colors. My light bulb just burnt out, and it has a slightly different kind of orange hue. So the right side's got more of a daylight bulb being used, and you can see that they are the same color. But anyway, the head sculpt looks great. I love the paint applications and everything. We have actual metal earrings over here, which are awesome, so I really like that. And then this is actually sculpted right here. So I love that attention to detail. These actually might have an iris on them. I don't know. It looks like there's like a iris sculpted in there. I could be wrong about that. But anyway, looking at the back of the head, paint looks really good too. And then we get the screaming head sculpt, which makes me very happy to see Jada include both expressions over here like this, and that is very cool. I really wish we got some flame effects, you know? Yoga flame. I don't know, they could make a second Dhalsim figure that had fists if it had a bunch of flame effects. That would be cool. I would probably pick that up. I think that would be worth picking up anyway. For me, I really like this character. Anyway, the skulls right here on the necklace look really good. So I like that. And then I think the body's sculpted out really well. You know, there's some versions of him where he looks a little bit more skinny, but this still looks fine. I mean, I think we were able to see his rib cage way back in the day. You could see a lot of muscle over here, though. And I like how fluid everything looks. So I really like the tone that we're seeing on the flesh. And I love that the shorts have some subtle paint detail. It's very tricky painting orange and yellow colors, and they have these little orange oversprays going on over here and texturing going on. And the color looks consistent right over here to me. I don't know, the wrist and the shorts, they look pretty good, man. Maybe a subtle difference in color, but it's very, very close. I think it looks good. And I keep getting tricked by the flesh tone on here. I feel like it has shadowing effect, but I think it's just the color. I don't know, it may have some very subtle shadowing effect. When I first look at it, I feel that way, but then I'm thinking, well, maybe it doesn't. It's just shadows, but I think there's some light paint on here, and unless I'm mistaken. See, in the chest, it looks like there might be some paint on there. It's hard to tell. Anyway, regardless whether there's paint on it or not, I do think it looks very good and get some nice looking big extra sized feet over there with peg holes at the bottom. I'm sorry, yeah, this totally has paint on it. I could see it on the calf right over here running down along the side. So it's very subtle, but there is some paint on this figure. It's very lightly applied to the figure, kind of hard to tell. So the articulation is pretty good, but a little bit disappointing with the neck and head over here. I'm surprised to see that Dhalsim can only look up that far. I'm used to the Jada Toys figures having more range of movement than that, and it's weird because he has no hair back here or anything. So I wish he could move up more. He can't move down, and you could rotate the head and neck side to side. It pivots really well. You have butterfly joints here, which again are a bit hindered. I mean, you can see the space right here. It's not going all the way in. When you move back, there's just only a tiny little bit of space left over for it to keep moving, but I wish it could go all the way forward. You know, I want as much articulation on this particular character as possible due to the nature of the character. Anyway, you can move the shoulders all the way in up above the 90-degree mark. They move all the way in, rotate a full 360, bicep swivel, beautiful pinless, double-jointed elbows. All the hands turn side to side and hinge up and down. We have a nice diaphragm cut right here. It turns side to side that far. Diaphragm pivoting, crunches forward. You get similar articulation at the waist, so you can pivot side to side with both joints that much. You can get both joints making him crunch forward that far and back that far. You have hips that move outward, and you can do the splits. No drop down hips over here, but this soft material at the crotch allows him to kick all the way up that far, and he can move back a bit. You have the thigh cut right there where it's interchangeable. You have the pinless double jointed knees. Then you have calf rotation right here with these bands, which I like. Ankles move down, they do move up, and he has beautiful ankle pivot. I wish he had toe articulation. Now, to measure out the height of this Dhalsim figure, you can see that he is standing just a little over 6 inches tall. Dhalsim, not Dhalsim. I used to always say Dhalsim when I was a kid. It's Dhalsim, isn't it? Then here's Dhalsim next to Ryu and Fei Long, the only other two Jada Toys Street Fighter figures I've reviewed on this channel. I do have a bunch more, but yeah, I should review more of them. And here's Dhalsim next to my Ken and Chun-Li figures from Jada Street Fighter, and yeah, I did not review these. I don't know if I would even peak 3,000 views with this one right over here. These have been out for so long. Maybe on Patreon or something, or Russ Toy Reviews. Who knows? We'll see. And then here's Dhalsim next to the SH Figuarts Vega, and then here's the Soda Street Fighter Vega, and I think he fits into scale more with SH Figuarts than anything. Then here's Dhalsim next to a couple other stretchy figures, or characters anyway. We have Mr. Fantastic, and we have the Build-A-Figure Plastic Man. Then here's Dhalsim next to your average 6-inch scale figure. We have the Marvel Legends Big Time Letdown Spider-Man, and I just can't do a stop motion at this second with the banging in the background, you guys. I'm sorry. I had a whole thing about Yoga Wang over here instead of Yoga Flame, but whatever. We'll save it for another time. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I didn't. This sucked. It was really hot all day in this garage, and I can't open any of the windows because it's so loud outside from the banging, but I did enjoy this figure, and I hope you still enjoyed this review. If you did, hit that like button, and if you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Now, this Dhalsim figure is freaking cool. Like, I just based off of the simple fact that they included stretchy arms and legs with your regular price point $25 figure, I like that. I think that is dope. But not everything about the figure is dope. Obviously, it would have been awesome to have ports for those fists and hinges on those fists so you could swap them. That would have been really cool. It gets frustrating posing him around and not being able to give him fists. Not being able to make his head look all the way up. That's frustrating as well. So yeah, it does have its shortcomings. It's not a perfect figure, but it's a damn good figure, man. At the price point around $25, I'm still gonna give this Dhalsim figure a stud rating of
I love it!
And I'd like to know what you guys think. Please let me know in the comments section below. If you want to see the latest in action figure news, you can find it all over at toynewseye.com. And if you want to stay in touch with me on social media, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, and on whatnot, and on Mercari. And I will catch you guys later. Peace!
That's crispy.
Hey. Hey, new ShartimusPrime videos. Hey, you should click one. Yeah, click on one of them. Or subscribe if you haven't.
Your face,